Okay, welcome to Ring Talk 12, the podcast about unsung heroes. And we're very, very lucky to be here over in Dublin with an absolute legend today. We're sponsored by Hype Energy Drinks, and without them, this podcast wouldn't be able to happen. So we're really, really appreciative to Hype Energy Drinks. Thank you to them for putting their trust and faith in us and helping us bring stories to the public that should be heard. So, today we are with an absolute legend, a gentleman, and a man who has had a fantastic career and is at the moment touring the world with beautiful girls and Forged Irish Stout. But we'll talk about that after we talk about him. I'm very, very pleased to introduce you to Mr. Liam Flynn. Morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine, thanks very much.
We've just had the coughing fits and we're all right now,
I
aren't
think
we?
we're all right now.
Don't start again.
No.
So listen, Liam, I don't know where to start because you sent me some information about your background and how you became to be where you are now, and the story's fascinating. I'd really like to hear how it all began for you, where it began, and what made you start sort of along this path to where you are now. So give us just a little bit of a short history on where Liam Flynn came from.
Liam Flynn came from a family of 8. There's 2 of us gone, Lord mercy. And the number 12 was Spreading Road where I was born. I was the first to be born in the back room of the house. And my dad was an army man. And I went on from there. I went to school, obviously, in Morden Road School in Drimnagh. And then I went as paperman.
Right.
And I used to do the paper run around Drimnagh. And I was more short every week than I think I won't for nothing. I think I won't for nothing I did, but look, that's how you learn your trade. And then my dad left the army and he done an egg run. So my nickname was the Eggman.
What's an egg run?
I sold eggs.
Right.
I sold eggs, I did. And I was over Michael's estate one day and someone said, it's a job in the horse and jockey in Inchicore 45 years ago.
Right.
So I took that job as a lounge boy and it was a hard job. We used to have to hoover at night, clean tables, there till 2 in the morning, all the basics. It's where I learned my trade. There was a lovely man called Liam O'Shaughnessy, and he had 7 apprentices that became publicans, and
Wow.
became bigger publican than me. So I was leaving there one night to join the army, and I always felt this thing about me that was too small for the army uniform. So he stopped me in the hallway, and he said, do you want an apprenticeship?
Yeah.
So I never looked back. And that man was like a second father to me. He trained me in. He only said one thing once, and if you didn't hear it, that was your fault.
Wow.
He was a hard man, but really hard man. But at the end of the day, I was his groomsman at his wedding, and I came to love the man.
Yeah.
But he was a hard man.
Well, it sounds like you had really good foundations for a career that has spanned quite a lot of years now, you won't mind me saying. Where did you go from there once you got your apprenticeship? How did that develop into...
Well, I was there. I used to go to College of Marketing in Mulberry for the bar trade, for cocktails and all. So I was interested in the bar trade after that.
Yeah.
But they were shocking to see, my ex-boss used to always say to me, give me great faith. I think I was 16 or 17 when I was the manager there. And his name, I was always called Young Shocko. So I got that from Liam,
Yeah.
But he was a hard man in the business. Like, he took no messing or nothing, But underneath it all, a very kind man he was. So I left there and I came up to the famous pub called the Bentley,
Right.
where we are today. So I came in here as a barman for 3 years. I worked down the cellar for 3 years. And one of the owners, the Nolan family owned this pub. And one of them asked me, do I want to go into Alfie Burns in town near the forecourts?
Yeah.
So I went in there as a director. So I was only 25 years of age.
I should say you're very young at this point.
Very, very young. So I went in there and I was dealing with the likes of Richard Branson, Gay Byrne, the Smurford family, journalists, photographers, the whole lot. So I started learning my trade from there. And I was Charles Street and Chancery Place is where Alfie Burns is. So
Right.
it's a lovely area. But we relied on the forecourts. So I would see loads of judges, solicitors, and barristers coming into the pub.
And they, of course, are very, lucrative. They've got money.
Exactly.
So it made it quite a successful place to be, I'm assuming.
Yeah, like we would do like that time, 120 meals a day and all,
Wow.
So the pub was packed, but for 3 months of the year they didn't open the forecourts, so
Right.
they got the rest days.
Yeah.
So it put a bit of pressure on the pub then.
You put your
So
prices up.
yeah, put prices up. So what happened there was I left there, doubled my investment, my money, the whole lot, and I went out to Blackrock to work in the pub with the ass and cart.
How old are you at this point?
I'm at that time I was about 26.
I mean, that's just pause there for a second.
Yeah.
You're 26 years old. You've had investment and become a director in a very lucrative pub, and you're going on to another massive place. I mean, you couldn't have been happier, surely.
It was hard work, I tell you the truth, but of course I was very happy. And the happy thing about it was when I went out to Blackrock, I was a year there, and the owner out there asked me to quit the partnership and
Wow.
throw all my investment in for 25 shares. And he lived in Booterstown. And as I was deciding whether to go with him, I got a phone call from the Black Forge, which was the Bentley them days.
Yeah.
And they wanted me to come back here as a director. So, like, it was a no-brainer. I was
Yeah.
coming back to where I started from.
Coming back home.
Coming back home. And I was in where I'm from, Drimnagh. And I knew everybody. And the unfortunate thing was I had to come in and we had to get rid of staff that I would have worked with
Right.
and sort of clean the place up a bit. So 33 years later, I'm still here.
I mean, that's a phenomenal story in 5 minutes. I mean, it's people just dream of stuff like that. And I mean, you've got a goal in mind and you've achieved that way before you're 30 by the sounds of it. I mean, what were you thinking, when you got back here? Were you thinking, I'm going to be here for the next 30 years? Or were you thinking, where can I go next?
See, the fact was that I was always trying to beat that 3 year period
Yeah,
because I've lasted 3 years in Happy Burns.
yeah,
So when the 3 years, I said to myself when I came here first, you have to beat the 3 years line. But I didn't realise
no,
it was 3 decades later, I'd be still here.
wow,
But hard graft, long hours, 70, 80 hours a week. I done the cellar still, even as an owner of the pub. I wouldn't do anything else that I'd ask anybody else to do. I still to this day would clean the toilets. There's
Yeah.
nothing, no job too big or small for me.
Well, people who don't know you, but we kind of do a little bit, we know what a gentleman you are. And that's one of the reasons we really like speaking to you, because you treat everybody exactly the same, whether it's the person sweeping the floors or whether it's Conor McGregor. You're speaking to people exactly the same. There's no differentiation between that person who does that job or the big celebrity. I mean, how easy is that for you? Is that just something that happens naturally?
Yeah, it happens naturally. There's no earls or graces about me. I know where I came from. I was that guy with the holes in my shoes,
Yeah.
and I had the Kellogg's cornflake box, the top of it in the shoes, but the socks always got wet. But I was that guy. I was.
Yeah. I'm interested in finding out more about that apprenticeship stage and your dad as a role model. Just go a little bit more into kind of what that time of life was for you. Obviously, a very young man. Tell us a bit about that side of your life.
Well, my dad was 21 years in the army, and at that time, like we heard so many stories. But he was a referee as well for 56 years, a soccer referee.
A soccer referee.
So for some reason, I was my dad's buddy. I was the guy on the back of the bike that go to the away matches and listen to people call me dad, this and that.
Yeah.
And these people would know who I am until the half time. I go onto the middle of the pitch and be kicking the ball in the middle of the pitch with my dad
Yeah.
before the second half was blown to be ready. So like there was days I went there and I was crying because they were saying so many things about me dad, little bally this and that. So that went on for years, But my dad was a hard worker. He was. So my dad was in the Congo in 1961, where 11 Irish soldiers got ambushed
Right.
by the Abubia people there. So that was a sad time. They're all buried in glass heaven with all our other heroes.
Right.
So my dad would tell us stories for going on, and still my dad's 90 years of age and he's still alive.
Wow.
Yeah, he's born in 1933. So when you think of figures, I mean, you look at figures and numbers. My dad's dad was born 1895, and my dad's ma was born 1905. So like, it's kind of that stage of me. If I ring someone in Vodafone or something, they ask me what year were you born, and I say 1961. I'm saying to myself, she obviously thinks I was born during the war. The figures get less and less. They do, and they make you feel older and older.
I'll tell you what, for a gentleman of your years, you don't act like it. I tell you, you enjoy your life, don't you?
Yeah, well, walking, as the Pope said once when he was here, that with young people in Ireland, we love you, and walking with young people, this what does you. And
Exactly.
you stay with the groove. You try to learn the way they talk. I know how to go in and out with young people. I know that I don't stay too long with them, like, what I mean?
Yeah,
I just talk to them and let them have they have their own language, you know what I mean?
they do indeed. So you've learned a lot of lessons from obviously your father, and then you went into the apprenticeship stage. Tell us about that sort of first jump into an apprenticeship in your field.
The horse and jockey was
Yeah.
like, when I think back about it, as I said to you, Liam O'Shaughnessy, he was a lovely man, and he married a girl called Mary Davitt, and Willie Davitt was her brother in Camden Street. It's a well-known pub, and they own the two sisters now. So Liam was lonely, and Liam was from Galway, and he ended up getting off the Galway train, and Jack Donoghue, Glen of Atlow down the Nemeth Road there,
Right.
kidnapped him for a manager there, and then Liam come up to the horse and jockey as manager, and then he ended up buying the pub. But
Right.
he always gave me hope all
Right.
those years when I think back about it.
Yeah.
He always said to me, you're going to come on and you get your own pub someday and all that. I was hoping I'd get it with him because he was the only man I knew.
Yeah.
But so the training you get from Liam O'Shaughnessy, like, it's unheard of, that training. The basics is what this trade is all about.
Yeah.
And the new world, that there, okay, there's a generation gap between me and the new crew, but it's different training that we got.
But it's still probably got some of those ethics in from your beginnings, I'm assuming.
Yes, there is, yeah, without a doubt. But like saving your time back in those days, like, it was 3 year apprenticeship, and
Mm.
then because Liam says to me, you want to go to college to learn more about the trade, have an interest.
Yeah.
So I used to go down to Easton's and buy books on the bar trade and all.
Yeah.
I think it was called the Barman's Guild. So it's sort of give you that interest to go on and go on. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Tell me about some of the patrons, the customers, the characters that were around in those days. I bet you've got quite a few stories about some of those guys.
Yeah, a lot of the guys, like the builders, they were builders them days, and they used to come in with their checks every Friday.
Yeah.
And Liam and myself would put the checks through and give them the cash for them. And they might have had a bit of tick there as well during the week. But these guys are legends. Like, I remember most of the names. There was Wacker Smith, Tommy Doyle, and I know where Tommy lived, 172 Rats Road, because of the paper run.
Yeah, of course. And the eggs, you said.
And the eggs. So I know where all these people lived in Trimley, and Rathers Road for some reason was the main point. We put a married girl out Rathers Road, the Duns,
Right.
166 Rathers Road.
Stop giving the addresses out. Everybody's
know.
knocking on the
Yeah,
doors.
I know. Yeah. But so that's basically it then.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I mean, what era is this? What
Well,
years?
This in the 70s.
In the 70s.
Yeah, in the 70s.
So 70s in Dublin.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a different place to the modern day. It must have been very colourful.
Yeah. Well, on a Sunday morning there, you'd have about 30 people waiting for you to open the pub at 12 o'clock. It was 12:30 opening.
Right.
And you'd walk in there at 12, and they'd be all sitting on the wall. And the minute you open the pub, they all come charging in. So, like, it was the Rambo films days that we used to have on
Yeah.
the big screen and all. So, the pub was a great little pub, but he ran it very, very strict.
Right. But that's a good thing because, like you said, you kind of use some of those beginnings now into your business today in the modern day, haven't you?
Yeah. But the thing about me being here this long is that there's people come up to me saying that at the beginning was that my dad played football with you, and now it's me granddad played football with you. So I'm waiting on someone to say, my great granddad played football with you, then I'll know It's time to go.
As long as they don't start calling you some of those names.
Yeah. And they probably have a few names of me. Because there would be loads of people that were barred out of here for years.
So, Alfie Burns, I mean, how did you buy into somewhere like that? You're a young man, you're very, you've come through an apprenticeship, you're going to buy into a pub in Dublin. I mean, that's a lot of people's dreams, but you're still a very young man. How did that process happen for you?
Well, how it all began was I got a check off for something. It was 4.5 grand, and then I had Liam O'Shaughnessy backing me up at 15,000, and
Wow.
then other people went guarantee for me, and that's how I got me money up first. I was actually refused out of Bank of Ireland across road from the pub here
Right.
all them years ago, and AIB Bank, Keith Cairns,
Yeah.
in 10 euro, gave me the loan, and that's where the balls start rolling.
And tell me about that first day when you walked through that door as, in effect, an owner of a pub.
Yeah, I was feeling very proud of myself that I achieved something in my life. That I just didn't, no offense, I didn't want to be just a barman.
Yeah.
I wanted to be, I wanted to have some rank, So
Yeah.
being a publican, it's a different beast. It's you're seeing two sides of the coin. You're seeing the harps and the heads. So you know what it's like to work for someone and work for yourself.
Yeah. And tell me about those days because obviously the clientele probably is a little bit different as well. You're getting a little bit older. The clientele are changing. You see it from not a fun point of view anymore. You see a business point of view. How did that change how you kind of approached the customers, or is it just how you are?
Nothing changes at all whatsoever.
Yeah.
No, never will change. No, there's no big headed or nothing or being an owner or nothing. You stay the same the way you are, the same the focus, and you don't. Some people wouldn't even know that you have shares in the pub,
Right.
so you don't change.
And that process, you excuse me, you bought into a pub. This is your first as a young man sort of risk, I guess, in life. If it goes wrong, it's not a pleasant place to be, is it? But there was never going to be, I guess, a time where you would let it happen like that. It was always going to be a progression for you. And like you say, you've then moved into a big place where all the celebrities come. That process from A to B in that place, how long did that take?
It took 3 years.
That's not a long time.
No, it's not a long time.
And what do you put that down to? Hard work or just...
Oh, hard work.
Yeah.
Work. Like you'd be going in for 17 hours a day, and
Right.
you could do seven days a week. It's all graft. You have to think and plan your week out. You
Yeah.
try to get functions in. The tax office was across the road
Oh,
there.
that's not good.
Yeah. And we had we loads of people in the area coming into the pub, and then we had people that sold in Henry Street.
Right.
We had them all in the night time, and they were like my type of people.
So
You
it's
know?
a different day crowd to a night crowd.
Exactly. So we had all, as we call them, the wigs. We had all the wigs coming in. They'd be barristers, solicitors, and judges coming in and having the field there. And then when they went, we'd have Charles Street people in and Chancery Place. So
Right.
we'd have all the flat people in there.
What does that mean? Because I don't know what that means.
They live in the flats.
Okay. So regular people.
Yeah. Regular people, correct. So all flats around that area. So regular people, exactly. They come in here, salt of the earth.
Yeah,
Nicest
exactly.
people you'd ever meet in the world.
Yeah.
So like it was easy for me from being from Drimnagh. It's like meeting one of my own.
Right. And again, tell us some stories. You must have some great stories of when the two worlds clash, I guess, the wigs and the flats. Tell us a few stories. Tell us something that sticks in your mind.
Well, the people that I was actually in partnership with, one of them was a detective. So that made the story harder.
It could have been an awkward situation where one of the wigs is in there and they've prosecuted one of the flats.
Exactly. Okay, that's exactly what happened. But the flat people were, I tell you, they're solid.
Of course.
They're the best in the world, like serious.
Yeah.
I don't mean by different them between the flats and the houses and all that. These are people that just live in flats.
Yeah.
And Charles Street and Chancery places where a lot of flats are,
Of
But
course.
they're amazing people. Like I used to see them when I used to go shopping with my wife in Henry Street.
Right.
He'd be saying, "How are you, Liam?" And they were, "Do you want any bangers?"
Oh dear. So come on, give us a story that sticks in your mind from that time.
Well, the story was obviously they didn't like me partner. That was number one.
Is your father still getting grief at this point?
No, me partner, me
I'll be
partner.
partner,
They
right?
did like me partner because he was a detective. So they used
Oh
to give,
Jesus, Liam.
yeah, I know, yeah, they used to give me loads of stick there, But they're just funny. They're just funny stories all the time. They're just funny stories of people coming and going there. They're just great characters.
Yeah,
They'd be talking to you for ages about their lives and all.
yeah,
Like it just goes on and on and on. And you're so busy you have to keep moving.
mm,
But there was one time there we weren't supposed to open on Good Friday, and
right,
me dad refereed the match, and there was a match going on, so we brought them all back to the pub.
right.
And the Bridewell, where there's 300 policemen, it's only around the corner
Oh,
from the Tilted Wig. So we were in there, and I was really scared about being caught. So I was that scared, would you believe? I fell down the cellar.
oh no, that hurt.
Oh, it didn't hurt because I was still scared. I was that scared. Just back up I went and look after people and all that. So that was a great memory there. That was fabulous because all of a sudden it was supposed to be, don't tell anybody. You're invited in. All of a sudden they told everybody. And there was about 200 people in the pub.
Oh
So
dear.
or I'll never forget that day. I was so busy there. And then when I got rid of them all, it was great because I got away with it.
Yeah, you've managed to get out unscathed.
Okay, yeah, exactly, yeah.
So you then decide the Bentley. I'm going home. Again, tell us about that sort of process. I mean, I'm guessing it was a fairly easy decision, that one.
Yeah, it was a non-brainer. It was actually probably the most exciting thing I did in my life.
Yeah,
I was so thrilled to come in. It was like shutting the door and then opening it up. Those 3 years went in very fast.
yeah.
And when I came in here and I was just about to open the door, my partner's wife jumped out of the car and she came over to me and said, "Liam, the best of luck."
Ah,
She
that's
she
nice.
knew she knew the job that I had to do. I had to go in and get rid of a good few staff
Yeah,
and try to bring the place into making profit.
which is always a hard thing, especially at the beginning, because you want everybody to be happy, and that's obviously something that couldn't happen straight away. Which that must have been tough on you as a people person.
Yeah, that was very tough. But look, it was either them or me, and that's the way it was them days.
Yeah,
So I for my family, so I had to survive,
yeah,
and we got them out. We got them out nicely. People got paid checks.
yeah,
They got checks. They got handshakes. Like there's no one left here not happy.
yeah.
They were happy to go. They didn't want to walk with Liam Flynn.
No.
And that's it.
So you start that kind of re-emergence of the Bentley, which is now turned into the Black Forge. How long did that transition take? 'Cause you've been here a long time, haven't you?
Yeah. 26 years ago, we called this pub the Black Forge.
Wow. I mean, and you're still here.
Still here, fighting and fitting. I won't be going anywhere too soon. I
And
love it.
and this is obviously home for you.
Yeah, this is me home. This is where I'll say goodbye. Like everybody else says goodbye, in that time. But I hope my time's a bit longer.
Well, we hope so.
Yeah.
So we don't need to keel over
Yeah.
just yet, mate.
Yeah.
Now, the obvious question, of course, is this is where you met a certain young man called Conor McGregor, unknown fighter at that time. Just talk us through when you met that gentleman and how the relationship began to form.
Well, Connor was probably drinking in here for ages before I knew who he was.
Right.
So because this was an exciting pub because we used to have all the young crowd here.
Yeah.
And we had a DJ here at night time. So
Right.
the pub be packed. There could be like 450 people in the pub. But I do remember one day and I seen a young man glancing at me.
Yeah.
And God behold, it was Conor McGregor. But I still didn't put one and one together. But I just said to myself, he's very quiet, isn't he? And the rest of the lads, all his friends and all, they were very quiet as well. There was a nice little group that Conor hung around with in the pub. They were mature, they were ahead of themselves, they were at the time. But I do remember seeing Conor with the tight hair, looking there. And then all of a sudden, a few weeks passed, a few months passed, and then I was hearing this guy is doing very well in the UFC. And next thing, he used to come in, he was winning his fights, and he used to give me time at the front door for
Right.
10 minutes at a time telling me what he was going to do to the fighters, like he told the world, and he would do it in 2 rounds. Or if he said 1 round was 1 round. So even those days, Conor gave me a lot of respect,
Right.
and nothing has changed between myself and Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor gives me loads of respect.
And was that a natural friendship, something that happened just very simply, very easily?
I think so. I think Conor probably looking at me, known as a publican and well known in the area.
Yeah.
And Conor probably seeing that I was so down to earth. There's loads of Conor McGregor that I can see. I know this probably sounds ridiculous, but I can see in myself.
Yeah.
That he's very down to earth.
And he's come, I'm assuming, from this area.
Conor's come from Crumlin. So Conor would have said it to his parents how good he was going to come, and told the world at the cage fight one time that he was going to be champion of the world.
Right.
And Conor came champion twice in 2 different belts, 145, 155.
And I guess, you met other people like Conor, not like Conor, but other people in other industries, whether that be, sports or business or, and you formed a lot of good friendships that I'm assuming are still alive now.
Yeah, I met Willow Hayden, the boxer that's been on Sky Sports for 7 fights now. I would have known Crew that won the gold medal for Ireland, and Evan Ferguson. Sorry, Evan Ferguson. He was in here, so there would have been loads. And for some reason, I get attracted to young people because I do admire them, and I like to say nice things to them, and see can I even, push them along. And even though it's not my trade, but soccer would be. So like when Evan be here, I'd be wishing him the best, him and his father. And I said, you're going to do well, trust me, because Conor McGregor doing well here. And it's a lucky touch. This is a lucky touch pup. So all these guys just turn it around,
Yeah. I could see a smile on your face when you talk about helping young people. Is that something that you just enjoy as a person, no matter what they do?
No, I used to run when I lived in Fairhouse. I used to run a football team. I only ran it because my son said he wanted to do something with the FAI.
For God's sake, don't do any refereeing.
Yeah, I know. I would never be a referee, Jordan. And so I done it for my son, and my wife used to come out, and we've done it for 8 years.
Right.
So we had kids under 7s, under 8s, under 9s. So I'm very bad with names. So there was this team that I had, and we won everything, And it was this guy, he had only a left foot. So I called him Lefty. Right, so I knew his name. And there's another guy that supported the Gunners, so he was called Gunner. So to this day, they're 26 years of age, and they're called Gunner and Lefty. So there you go.
Gets you out of remembering the names.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. There's so many names,
And the transformation of your beloved Bentley pub into the Black Forge name, where did that come from? Why did you change from Bentley to the Black Forge?
Well, we had a chat with Cronin and Company, their accountants, and he said, lads, I don't think you should do the pub up. This is when it was the Bentley. And we said, why? He says, because you're making so much money.
Right.
So we said, no, we still do it up.
Right.
I think at that stage, it was about £800,000 we done the pub up then.
Wow.
And we put it into the Black Forge. And we had amazing days here. Myself and Michael Nolan was in partnership the longest here. And Michael's family is a different ball game, obviously, to my family. Michael's family would have been solicitors, barristers, veterans, the whole lot, and inspectors. Michael's dad was an inspector.
Right.
So, it was different. But Michael and myself had amazing days here.
Tell us about some of those amazing days.
Myself and Michael, we used to be here. We'd have a Monday club.
Right.
And we got everything in to buy around, and it was £130 at the time.
Right.
Dom Perignon. So I know. So we used to have about 8 of us there in the VIP section, and we'd order a bottle of Dom Perignon, and it was £130 at the time, and they were great days, great chats and all. And we used to have the guards used to come up as well to us here, So we'd have a lot of them coming in.
Right.
So I was known for that because my partner's dad was an inspector. So we'd have all the detectives up here and all that. So there's a lot of gathering going on.
Yeah.
So they were great days now.
They sound fun.
Yeah.
I mean, great days, and all the way through this, obviously, if you're listening on Spotify, you can't see this, but if you're watching on the YouTube, you can see you've got a smile on your face all the way through. I mean, you're still a young man at this point, aren't you?
Yeah, I feel very fit now, I have to say.
No, I mean at the time when you kind of got back into the Bentley and
Oh,
turned
still
into
very
the
young, very
yeah.
young, very young. I
How
was.
what age are you at that point?
I would have been probably 30, 27, 28, 30.
So if you think about modern day times
Yeah.
now, gentlemen who or ladies who
Mm.
are coming at that age
Mm.
into something like that, it's a phenomenal achievement.
Yeah, it's next to impossible. Like Rob has said it here that no disrespect to any of the staff here, but
Yeah,
there's not many people going to be buying pubs.
no. So talking of buying pubs, this is now Mr. Conor McGregor's pub. However, I know that process was, you know, quite a quick one for you. I think. Um, how did it happen? How did he come to approach you, or did you approach him? How did that process happen?
I used to say to Connor, half messing for 4 years, you say, Connor, buy the pub. Now, of course, I was only saying that to Connor when the pub was packed. I was
Yeah.
going,
Not going to say that on a Tuesday morning
I'm
at
not
half
going to
past
say
11.
when there's no one in the pub. So, like, I kept saying, Connor, buy, and he said, oh, no, I know, Liam, I know. And I kept saying in front of his friends, I didn't care, like, if it was embarrassing. He'd say, I'll work for you, Connor.
Yeah,
I'd be a loyal soldier for you. I'll work for you. You'd be the boss. I've no problem with that at all, like, you know.
yeah,
So this was going on for ages, and then it was one day I said to my partner, Michael Nolan, I said, Connor's out the back there with his friends. Go out and say to him, does he want to buy the public?
yeah.
And he went out and he said it to Connor, and Connor said, are you serious? You still selling? We said, yeah, we sell to you, Connor. So we
Why? Why? Why would you sell to him? Because this is your beloved pub.
yeah, we sold it to Connor because it was time. Our partnership at that time was 33 years long, and
Wow.
it's like a bad marriage. Sometimes it goes on too long, and me and Mick splitting up was good for the two of us.
Right. So it was the right time to do it. So he decides to buy the pub from you.
So he decides to buy the pub on condition. Connor sent in his CEO, and CEO sat with me and Michael Nolan at the counter there and said the only reason why Connor, or the only way Connor is going to buy this pub is that Liam Flynn comes on board with him. And straight away, I didn't hesitate because I told Connor already I'd go with him, and I said, of course,
Yeah.
I'd be delighted.
So that happened. It became Conor McGregor's pub.
Came Conor McGregor's pub, like overnight. It's just like it's a local boy buys a local pub.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
And at that stage of his career, where was he?
Uh, he was at the top of his career at that
Right.
stage. He loads more. You know, he's at the expiring much higher now since then.
Of course.
You know, it doesn't stop with Connor. You know, it goes on and on with him. You know.
Yeah.
So when Connor pulled in here, it took a year to do the job here. So I remember him coming across the road, and everybody was all excited seeing Conor McGregor. And I remember him saying to me, Liam, bring Albert. Albert's another barman here.
Yeah.
He used to work for us, me and Michael Nolan, for 20 years.
Right.
So Albert, he said, I want Albert with us. So I said to Albert, I called him into the hallway and said, Connor, I want you with us. He said, no problem. But Connor said, I remember him saying outside the front of the road, he said, Liam, this is a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
This is a whole different level. I know what he was saying.
Yeah.
I understood him, you know. I understood him, like, you know. So I got him, Eddie Raythorn, the executive chef, that's still here today, and
Yeah.
our whole show here, it was 10 out of 10. The main one would probably be the food, and then the rest is the tools that we're guided to use when people come in here to
Yeah.
try to keep them happy, you know.
And do you know what? I mean, I've eaten here, and everybody who I know is eaten here say that the food is phenomenal, and it is, and that makes such a difference in a pub.
Yeah, and I tell you, not only because of Eddie Raytown being the executive chef, they're all great chefs there, but Connor gives them permission to buy the best. Because
Right.
it's all about the best with Connor.
Yeah.
And, you know, and for a chef to have that he can buy the best in the country. You
So
know?
the best ingredients equals
Yes.
the best food with the best chef.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not a bad combination, is
and
it?
and the food, and Connor promotes the food in a huge way.
Yeah.
So that's part of the trick here, you know. But the main part is Connor wants people to be happy leaving here,
Right.
and that they have an experience. And Open Table has told us that a lot of people are happy there.
Well, I don't think you need Open Table to tell you that, because every time we come here, or we know people who've come here, friends of ours, and they all just love it. The atmosphere, no matter what the time of the day it is, whether you walk in at 11:30, 12 o'clock, or you walk in at 10 o'clock at night, the place is just happy.
Yeah, there's 55 staff here, and they're all local staff.
Right.
So the best thing I think that Connor ever did was buying the pub,
Yeah.
because all the people in here that work for Connor love Connor.
And how did you feel at that point? Because, okay, there was a relationship ending with your previous business partner, but this was your baby. This is, what you worked for all your life and been a part of all your life. How did you feel at that moment that a celebrity, in effect, has bought your pub?
Oh, I felt actually delighted.
Yeah.
I really did, because I knew we were going to another level. Like, being an owner that long, as I said, it's a different beast. I know what levels mean. And this pub going to a different level.
Yeah.
And it's come to even more of a different level than I thought. It's fabulous what Connor's at doing. And no other publican would achieve this.
Right, well, we're going to talk about that, but we'll take a very, very quick break. 1 second. So fun times. We're back. So you've got the Black Forge is now Conor McGregor's pub, but it's still your pub really, because you're running it on a day-to-day basis. But life's changed a little bit, because we now see you touring the world with Forged Irish Stout, beautiful girls, telling everybody about the brand. I mean, wow, what's all that about? It's amazing.
Yeah, I think that's a lot to do with my personality, number one.
Yeah.
And because being front of house here, I'm the face of the pub.
Yeah.
So people in Canada, America, all over the world would be in here at one time in their lives, and they would have met me. Now they see me with the belt, supporting Forged Stout. Of course, I'll support anything that Conor wants me to do. So Forged Stout it's amazing stout, and it's getting up the ladder all the time.
Yeah.
And we're putting it into place all over the world very soon. We've already hit Manchester. We've hit loads of places: Leeds, Liverpool, over in America, Philadelphia, New York. We're going to, as I said before, Abu Dhabi, Dubai. It's going to be massive.
I mean, the growth of this brand is huge, very quickly.
Yeah, it's just like in that short space of time, it just shows you what like another year's time how big it's going to be.
And that's all come from obviously being here with Mr. McGregor, of course.
It's all come from the Black Forge, and it's called Forged Stout, and it's obviously Conor after buying the pub, put a lot of money into it.
Yeah.
And he wants to utilise the pub, and this is a different avenue he can go down. It's like the proper 12 that they wanted Conor as a face.
Yeah.
Approximately, they're a Mexican company. So Conor is a face for the pub here again for the Black Forge, and he's Forged Irish Stout. He's the main man of Forged Irish Stout.
Well, I mean, we've been and seen you at some of the promotional evenings, because obviously we're very lucky to travel and go to all the boxing events and so on. You have a bloody good time, mate, don't you? But it's infectious. Everybody else has a good time when you're having a good time.
Yeah. It's basically like it's like we all have our things to do when we appear there.
Yeah.
So obviously the girls have their job, the Irish dancers have theirs.
They're amazing, by the way.
The Irish dancers are just superb. They're from Crumlin, actually.
Right.
So they're from Conor's hometown.
So they're all local people.
They're all local people, like, and Conor's that investing in their place and all, making it bigger for them and all that, like he does for everybody. He spreads the love,
Yeah.
But so I have my job. So my job is basically to break the ice when we go into a gig,
Yeah.
as we call it, and the main part of the thing is Forged Stout.
Yeah.
So make sure that's pulling right. If the owner wants to talk to me, I'll talk to him, and it's no problem at all. They want me to go down the cellar. They brought me down the cellar there in Mulligan's the other day,
Right.
and I was able to talk to them through the cellar as well. So I was able to speak his language,
Yeah.
So that's sort of a little bit of excitement there. And then I get people there take pictures of the 145, the real 145,
Right.
and they love it.
I mean, that belt's phenomenal as well, isn't it?
Yeah, that belt is it's a thing on its own, or it's amazing. Should have been an Instagram for that belt.
I tell you what, you must pinch yourself every day.
Yeah, it's still work.
Yeah.
You're walking still.
It's not bad work though,
Yeah,
mate.
it's not bad work, but
Traveling the world with beautiful ring girls and a brand.
Yeah, the ring ladies are gorgeous girls. They're only young girls, yeah, but they're very respectful.
Yeah.
And they understand. They obviously probably know a bit more knowledge about me than they did at the beginning.
But they fit in with you, and
Yep.
you've said all the way through this sort of podcast, you love younger people.
Yep.
And those two things, it's a very dangerous but positive,
Yeah.
atmosphere. I mean, it's infectious.
Yeah, I love, as I said earlier on, I love to see people young doing well. It's all about the young people, and that's where it was with the football, me as well,
Yeah.
when under sevens were there and all. And I love to see young people happy.
Yeah.
Because the day will come when they get older, and they'll always remember someone that touched them.
Easy now, lad.
In their career, in their career.
Get that one in there quick.
Yeah, in their career. So it's amazing doing this job now that I'm doing alright, but it's still a job.
Yeah. And let's just come back to the pub for a minute. You do this with passion, and but I'm getting the sense you've always done this with passion.
Yeah.
How long are you going to carry on? Are you going to sit back and enjoy your rewards one day, or are you just going to keep going?
Keep going.
I knew the answer to that.
Yeah, I know you did. I won't be stopping. And you're right. I just say it in passion, and people that interview me can see that. And Conor could see it. Conor at the very beginning knew why he was bringing me back.
Yeah.
First of all, because I knew the crowd that drink here. Second of all, that he was happy with me as a person, and third of all, he knew I had a personality.
Yeah.
So Conor just like, he gives you great respect, and he gives you confidence as well.
It's funny because obviously Conor McGregor is an internationally, worldwide known person, celebrity. Whatever he does, he's known everywhere. Okay. When I see pictures or videos of him with you, he looks different. He looks like he's your friend. He looks, and I know media can manipulate pictures and videos to look certain ways, but we never see that with a picture with you and him. It always looks like you're almost two brothers.
Yeah. It's a mad that you said that, and the lawyer you brought that up. But when Eddie Raythorn started here 2 years ago, it was him that noticed that.
Yeah.
And he said to me, Liam, he says, Conor's friendly with all the friends and all this business, but it's different with you.
Yeah.
And I feel that, wherever Conor wants, he's my boss, and I'm very, very loyal to Conor McGregor. And I spread the love all over the world that I go to about how kind he is.
Yeah. And people don't see that. They just see the media manipulation, I guess, of what that man is like. But really, you see the real him.
I see. I actually, I can reach into Conor, and I can see exactly how nice of a guy he is. And knowing his parents as well and his sisters, it gives me an extra bonus.
Yeah.
But definitely 100%, I can see through Conor McGregor.
Well, listen, we've talked about Conor enough because this is about you. It's interesting to hear that story on how you got to where you are with him, and it's. I mean, I'm almost lost for words because you're such a nice guy. We know you quite well, and you're always hospitable when we come and see you, and when you come and see us in whatever part of the world we happen to be in. I'm just pleased that we're friends, because there are not many good people in this world, and gentlemen like yourself, there should be more of you, because the world would be a better place, mate.
Yeah, I agree 100% with you. I think if people stay as real as they are and don't be trying to be something they're not,
Yeah.
that's very important. And everybody else sees it. That's real. As Conor said, it's real meeting real. So when I send Conor messages to people that send me lovely messages and letters to me here, thanking me for the hospitality and for their children and all that, and looking after their children with the photograph of the belt and all that, I send one or two of them on to Conor. And Conor says, look at him. He says, look, that's amazing. He says, what you're doing there, what we're doing there, he says, puts me in with him.
Yeah.
I know they're here for Conor. But when Conor's not here, Liam Flynn's the second best. with the belt.
So listen, tell me about your staff, because you're very proud about where you work and the environment you're in, and obviously you've been here a very long time. You've obviously got now a team behind you that help make this place work. Tell us a little bit about your staff.
The way it's gone here is that we have a Portuguese manager of the bar.
Yeah,
We have loads of Brazilian people working for us. We're internationally. We have a lot of Irish working here as well,
yeah,
and we have loads of local people working here on the floor. And the staff, they're probably looking at the beginning when they come in here and seeing the way I treat people, and they learn from that, and then their own personality comes into play, and they don't realise they actually have a lovely personality,
exactly.
and it brings everybody on, brings us into a different level.
So you've almost got two sides. You've got the so-called celebrity bar mixed in with reality still.
Yes.
You've kept it how it should be.
Yeah, it's when the celebrities come in, it's a meet and greet, and they're brought down to the table 12, and they actually know you, which is even worse and strange. They actually know you, and they know some of the staff members as well. So it's great,
Yeah.
So already that we're past that stage one of meeting them.
You've already got that rapport.
Yeah, big time. And then they come in, we just get a picture with the belt and talk to them, and we tell them all about the pub, and they want a quick tour, they can. For some of the celebrities, you wouldn't do the tour, but at least they come out and take a picture of it on the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, in this very room, we had Snoop Dogg here.
I was going to talk to you about him in a minute.
Yeah.
I can't believe
yeah.
you and Snoop Dogg would be my ultimate night out, let me tell you.
Well, I don't drink.
I think you might that night.
Yeah, I could be persuaded. Yeah.
I just don't know where to go with the next question, because Snoop Dogg is only one of many, many celebrities that have been down here. Who's been your favourite?
Kevin Hart has been very special.
Kevin Hart's been here.
Kevin Hart's been here.
What was that like?
Kevin, he's very graceful,
Right.
very respectful to everybody. And he listened to me telling the story about the 145, Conor beating Aldo on the 12/12, 2015. And he was very interested. And I asked him, would he mind if I rang Conor?
Yeah.
And he can have a chat with Conor about how he likes the pub and what way he's been treated. And straight away in my inside pocket, he phoned Conor, FaceTime Conor. So the two of them were talking there on my phone. And I sent that message to Conor private.
Yeah.
And then Conor done his own thing with it. So he was really nice.
So Kevin Hart's FaceTiming Connor.
Yeah, that's right. And we had James Arthur here, and James Arthur was really, really nice too.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, and I tell you who else was a special guy, Lord Mercy on him, Coolio.
Really?
Yeah, we really liked Coolio now. He was a very nice person. And then, unfortunately, he died 2 months later.
Yeah.
So sad to the world to lose Coolio. But then we had the Snoop Dogg. Then Snoop appeared.
How did that happen? Tell me about that.
Well, Snoop and Conor are obviously friends.
Right.
So Conor was here with his family waiting for Snoop Dogg to come in here. And Snoop Dogg got delayed. And Conor had to leave.
Oh, right. Okay.
Because Conor's missus was due a baby.
Of
So Conor left with the kids. The kids were getting tired. And then Snoop Dogg came in. And we done the biz with Snoop Dogg. Then he came in through the front door.
Right.
I met him and greeted him. And brought him into this room.
So we're sat in the Snoop Dogg room.
We was actually right beside where he was, yes. It's an amazing story, serious.
So you've gone from, an apprentice in, your hometown in effect, to hosting Snoop Dogg 30 years later.
I know.
It's not bad, is it?
It's not bad, but it's just another day for me,
Well, the reason we do this podcast is there are lots of people in industry and in sport that make things happen, but don't necessarily get recognition, and sometimes they want it and sometimes they don't. But we want to bring the stories of people like yourself to the forefront so that people understand the hard work and the time that's gone into building something. I mean, you've in effect built this place from nothing, and it is what it is now. It's becoming an international and a worldwide brand. You've put your heart and your soul, and still do, into the place, and that's a lot of hard work and effort, especially without you being rude, in advancing years. It's not as easy to do It's not easy to do when you're 25, let alone when you're maybe 55. I should know. I know what it's like. Um, so the accolades should go to you, sir, because what you've done is create jobs and happiness around so many different places and so many different people, and provided so many homes and families with an income, which in effect has helped them live lives. So from us to you, we want to say thank you for your service in your industry, and you're now creeping into our industry, which is even better because I think the world needs to see a little bit more of Liam Flynn. So from us to you, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Well, listen, we're going to wrap this up in a minute, but I'm going to leave the last word to you. Give us a little bit of a, I don't know, not a parting shot, but just tell us what you would like to see and achieve in the next 5 years, where you are, and how you'd like people to be.
I'd love to finish this off with when Conor goes to Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and all over the world, and if he calls these pubs the Black Forge Inn, I'd love to be at the door opening them to Conor and saying welcome to the Black Forge Inn in all different parts of the world. But my whole effort here in life now at the minute is that I'd like to, my little legacy would like to live to my grandchild Sophia. So she was born in Vancouver, and my son and he's next to be his wife are back home after 9 years. I've only got one child, so he left me for 9 years. So once he was happy, I was happy.
Yeah.
And my little legacy was to say that I sold the pub to Conor McGregor, and that I survived, and I was very young as a director of a pub, and hard work, and it keeps me going, and it will keep me going for a long, long time.
Well, a great way to end. We'd like to say, Liam Flynn, thank you for being on the Unsung Heroes. You definitely are an unsung hero to many, many people, many families. We wish you the best of health and happiness, and I think it's time to go and have a pint, isn't it?
Slante.
Liam, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.